Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back. It took me forever to upload a video, and that was basically because I had no time to record one, but also because one, that I actually did record, I couldn't get it monetized. That is, if you want to actually get some money out of it. So, I am just gonna do some arena in this video, and it's reset day, so we got I ended up Guardian 2, which I was pretty happy about because I didn't think I could actually play. And Guardian 2 is a good rank to end, if you ask me. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So we're just gonna do some arena and nothing too special, but I want to talk about a few things. One is actually, how can you be successful in arena and on reset day, right? I wouldn't say I'm the most successful player in this game, but if it comes to how much I spend versus how long I played versus how well I'm doing right now, I'm believing that I'm pretty top end as well. I'm not top 30, but I'm definitely top 100 as a player. So for people that are better, like ending top 30, this video is not gonna give you any new information, but for newer people this might be an interesting video. So what you just saw was a team that I used to beat almost every comp that I find. However, when you get up higher, you will find more comps that are harder to beat with this. But in ranking them now, I will show you comps that are like, this is a comp I wouldn't go with it. I wouldn't go in with my comp, basically because I know they have the speed. They are banking on the speed. Like the setup banks on the fact that they're gonna get turned in front of them. So what I would do with this team, since there's barely to no heal, I would switch it out to a really way more tanky setup. And obviously these teams that I just select right now are not something everyone can do, because you need to build up to that, right? But however, when you're getting to the stage where you can actually start to make 6 stars and you're going to think about what should I actually use, it's really interesting to see in your meta, in your place where you're at. Like the meta ain't the same in the top 300 and the top 100. There's a big difference there. But what you should do is recognize the enemy's teams. What are they doing? What are they planning to do? Then recognize what the biggest chunk of them actually does, and how are you going to beat that? What is your plan to defeating that team? And it's really not that difficult to build a team that can beat enemies pretty effectively. Like this team you see right here, I use a lot, and as you can see, this team that was banking on getting the first turn didn't cause any problems. Even if my Chloe wasn't fast enough, I still had will runes on both Arnold and Chloe, which means those are the only ones that have cooldowns that I care about, because Jameer cannot even get reset, so it's not really a problem. And I use Jameer mainly because of the speed lead. So what are you supposed to do? What you are supposed to do is sit down, think about, what do I have, which units do I have, and how am I going to be able to take down the enemy team. And it's not so much about which units you have. I mean, obviously there are better options and the worse options, right? But you got to think about how you're going to do it. I mean, I could have built different teams. And I do think there are certain units you kind of need to make it work, but there's also a wide variety. Sorry about that message, guys. There's a wide variety of units you can use in order to be successful in Arena and Guild Wars. When it comes to Arena, think about what your enemy is gonna do. Think about how they fight you, what their plan is, and try to counter that. This setup that I'm fighting right now, you will see that everywhere, really everywhere. Right now I got a little unlucky that I didn't remove his boss, but I'm still going to do amputation magic to try to take down every other unit. Maybe except for the fire one, because it's illusion attacking, but after all, I mean, it's 2 units against 4. That's a pretty good chance I'm going to take this game home. But try to make sure that you know exactly which units. Try to know exactly what the enemy is trying to do. Right now, I did some fights in the back while I was talking. I'm now going to try to specify what the enemy is about to do. I think the plans are very obvious, and what I'm going to say is also pretty obvious for you guys, most likely. However, I want to do it just in case some people would not see it because they are beginning players, whatever. So, as right of now, we are in Guardian 1. It's on reset, so it doesn't say too much, but there's a lot of defenses in that are actually still something you will see generally all the time. I'm going to drag myself down a bit. So, here's a team that you actually face quite a lot, but what is he banking on? Most likely, he is banking on the following. Bruiser is going to be the fastest, reason being he has the immunity buff, which means you want to get that on, otherwise your team gets controlled by everything. Bella is there to defense break, to pick up a target, and if not, dispel any immunity, so both Theomars and Perna can go to town. So he is banking on getting very fast, put up the shield, very fast Wusa, put up the shield, and just take one unit down. I would actually say I think this is a very bad idea for me to go in with this team. However, I do think I have a chance, so I'm gonna try. That's also a very thing you need to do. Every time you build up a team and it seems to work, try it out on almost every setup you could think of, to see what works and what doesn't. The reason why I think it's gonna work is because I can dispel his shield and I can take their attack gates down. That's because my setup works that way. Sadly, once again, this damn Theomars does not want to listen to me. However, I can take away a turn of Perna, which means I am somewhat safe. Now is the question, should I use amputation? I'm thinking of amputation right away, because I probably pop Bella, and I might pop Perna, probably get him to endure. So there you go, it actually worked the way I said it. So now we can pop him as well. Now his deck is really only 2 units, which is gonna be decreased to 1. So knowing his plan and knowing what I need to do made me win this fight very easily. Obviously there are things that can go wrong. That's always the case. There's always a case something goes wrong. However, it's not, if you know what is going to happen, you have a very big opportunity to take down the team because you know exactly what you need to do. So things to take into account are enemy teams. I'm gonna do some more fights, but first I want to talk about my team, and then I'll talk about what you can do. So let me drag my face over to the middle. So what you need to do is make sure you know the turn order of your team. Obviously have a plan of which units you're going to combine with each other, but make sure that when you put them together, make sure that the first guy that needs to move is also moving the first if you combine it with others. So my team works the following. I use Chloe in a lot of the fights, if they don't have an AoE buff remover like Braha or what's the guy called, the Fire Pioneer? Not sure what he's called, or Aquilia, or that's another one. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look up that name because I wanna. So we got Braha, the water woman, the woman that dispels everyone. Wusa, is that Wusa? No, that's not Wusa. That's the water one. What's the fire one called? Oh, this guy. Chiwu. My face is in front of it again, but Chiwu. So Chiwu. Oh yeah, Chiwu, Bra, Aquilia, and Soa. But Soa you don't see that very often. But those are units to look out for when you take up a Chloe. But I have a backup plan. If I cannot take Chloe, I take an attack gauge booster, which for me it's Origin. It's not the best unit to take in this situation because it's probably better if you take Bernard because he also speeds up your comp with a speed buff instead of just an attack gauge. But however, how my team is set up, that either Chloe or Orion is gonna go first, depending on which one I take. Because with Orion I can sometimes get away against a debuff or AoE debuffer like Praha and still take the same team. Then next to move is Aquilia. Something to note, Aquilia ain't that insane fast, not at all. And also something to note, his 2-slot rune is not even maxed out. Reason being, I don't want him to go too fast. If he goes too fast, I will probably create a bigger gap between Aquilia and my Poseidon. And if that happens, I'm in trouble. As you can see, they're pretty close, like plus 60 or 56, and this guy is plus 53, but his base speed is a little bit faster, like 5 speed faster, so they're pretty close. God damn it, go away. No! Don't open. God damn it. Get that out. Okay, sorry for that. If you did not notice it, I probably cut it out. But back to business. Poseidon just moves right after my Aquilia, because Aquilia is my AoE debuffer. Then he goes, and because of his law skill, I am able to take this. Because I reduce the attack gauge by 75% each, slowing down their attack speed, I can take a Lucian with me that's not that fast at all. Like his speed is plus 33. It has some speed because I need him to somewhat be close enough to Poseidon, otherwise he would never move before the enemy. But I take my Lucian and he can clear up. So this is like one of the teams that I built that works really well to the general defenses, let's say. Like most defenses that you find in the top 300 you can beat with that. In the top 100 you can beat like 50% of the defenses, I would say. A little bit more most likely. When I build it I could beat like 60 to 70% with this team. Now it's getting a bit less because people are changing the way they are putting up their defenses, which is harder for this team to beat. However, it depends on their runes quite a lot, because some defense I can beat because their runes are less quality than some of the top 30 players. However, you also face some certain teams like speed comps that I just showed you in the video as well. I built a team for that as well. I use Jameer. Main reason is because, well, first of all he's tanky, second of all he has the speed lead, and the illusion of time actually comes in handy very much. Then I use Chloe a lot of the time because the speed teams most likely bank on outspeeding you. So I take my Chloe with a speed lead, trying to get that turn before them or just before their DPS. Because I use her with real runes, I don't have too much to worry about. Even if they have an AoE debuff, they might not always do it. If they do it, I can catch back up by having Jameer in there, which is kind of handy. And if I do not if like they succeed in, for example, taking the first turn because I couldn't build immunity, but they don't have buff removal, my Chloe is still safe to put up the shield. I also use Arnold with Will for that same reason. I want him to make sure to save up his skills. Arnold, I pick Arnold for one main reason. This skill actually takes care of a lot of the DPS units. It does about 14k, together with a bit of damage of my other units. It's most often enough. And then the last that actually makes this so good is Jultan. Because of Jultan's passive, he doesn't have to do anything to be successful. He inflicts 12% of his max HP, which roughly comes down to 4k damage. The AoE attacks he receives, even if he's in immunity or not, and it's a crit, which most likely is because they're DPS units, he will do 4k to the enemy. And most of the enemy's units have about 15 to 22k health. So 4k is a pretty big hit on the enemy. So this is a team that I use. So I will Jameer, Chloe, Jultan and Arnold to beat speed comps that have no healers or very little healers. Like just a Chloe, I don't mind. If there's a Jasoon, it's a bit different. But often the teams work differently from, like, well, they don't really work if you put too much support in the team that wants to go YOLO. So those 2 teams that I built, I use almost for everything. When I come higher up in the top, let's say top 30, I need to either find my opponents, like very carefully, like who can I beat, who can I not beat, or I have to pick a slower team that can beat anything, however it takes a bit more time. So this is a team that I use to beat it fast. So here again, I know their plan. Vermos is decently fast to clear up their buffs, but also to stun first turn most likely. As soon as that, you just keep up the DPSs, and the DPS is just annoying as hell. But I know I'm most likely gonna outspeed his Vermos with my Chloe. It's not always that, but I did. So I can just go into shield, be safe all the time, and have nothing to worry about. Obviously, if you don't have a Chloe, your second plan would be outspeeding them with an attack gauge booster, with your complete comp, like with your entire comp. So now we just decrease their attack gauge, which means sadly I actually do move, but which means my Lucian can catch up, and we basically try to finish off their team with this amputation magic. And we did. Obviously we have to deal with 2 more guys, but that unit is gonna die as soon as he moves, and I only have to kill Purna once, which isn't really a big problem because he doesn't have that much health. And it's nice that they attacked Orion, because that means I don't have to worry about my Lucian right now, because Orion is low health. And there we go. Finish that team off. So it took me like 30 seconds to actually fight the guy and win. It took me about a minute to finish it off. So this is a weird setup, kinda. But the fact that he is going for outspeeding you and controlling you, because his Bernard is the fastest, then somewhere Chloe comes in, and then Tyron is gonna freeze me, and Bryant is just gonna be a dick. It is difficult to defeat this defense with my setup, because it's kind of set up to counter it, depending on how fast the Bernard is. But I'm not gonna try to outspeed the Bernard. What I'm gonna do is something completely different. I mean, this is a team that has no heals, but they have revive and they have a Chloe, which is annoying. However, I am very aware that there's no real damage. in that team. So what I'm gonna do is basically pick up a team that can either outspeed them or that can just sustain the damage they put out. Since the damage is not that high, I probably just go with some DPS that is not bothered too much by the wind guys, so I'll probably go for you. So this is something I don't do often. Actually, I almost do never, but this is something I do. Yeah, you have to do it sometime. Oh, I could even use Akamamir for fun, but he is really slow, so I'm not sure if that's so smart to do, but hey, let's try it out. I think his defense is no real threat, so yeah, that makes it a bit easier for me. However, I do think the freeze and all that might be a bit annoying. Let's actually do something I would do. Where is Jameer? We're gonna try to outspeed him. This could go wrong, obviously, but if it doesn't, it's basically GG first turn. So this is something I do against teams that I either want to outspeed or whatever. It could go wrong, right? But right now he didn't even buff, which is kind of handy. I kind of hope I get the first turn, because if my okay, that's good. If Orion would have, if Aquilia would have moved before his Chloe, I would be in big trouble. But now I'm kind of lucky, so I can just remove their buffs, except for one. But I don't care. We're just gonna throw this anyways, and we'll just try to take down one unit. We didn't. That kind of sucks. Now I have to deal with the damage. However, we're lucky. We're so lucky. Okay. And we will definitely take out one. That will be a revive. So this team is just trying to take the first turn. I don't have to get the first turn on all the units. I just need to get the first DPS. Like their DPS cannot move before me. That's basically what I tried to do. But once again, it took me not too much time to do it. I could have done it with a team that I was putting in, but I thought that it's gonna take me too much time. So let's just try it like that. So let's see what we are. Like, this team is a YOLO team. Here I definitely know what I want to do. They have a buff remover. However, I'm still gonna go for the fact that they might not do the buff remove, and if they do, I think I'm still not fucked. Because the buff remover, I mean, it's not like 100% sure he's gonna do that skill, so having immunity up is always good. So he has very fast Draco, which definitely works, but that Aquilia went first, which kinda sucks, because now I get a turn in between, and now I'm safe. The whole DPS is gonna be ruined. So what I will do is just target their strongest unit and try to take him out. There we go, done. And we reset. There's no DPS, so I already won. But just to point out how insane I mean, his comp, if it does do well, you're dead. But if it's not succeeding at what it needs to do, I won the game instantly. If it even does succeed, I most likely win as well. I actually never really lost with this team against a YOLO setup like this. So it's really definitely something you should consider. Try to build a team that can fight teams that has no healer and is built to destroy you in one turn. So what we got here is a very bruising kind of team. I would like, these kind of teams are difficult because there's one guy in there that is called Kumar, and Kumar is really a hateful unit. However, they need to be very well ruined, otherwise I will probably be able to deal with it as well. So this team definitely, if it goes wrong on my end, I will lose. But if I get lucky like this, her not using her skill, I can do fever time and do full potential damage, which really helps me getting the win. However, there are always things that can go wrong, but right now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win, because he's only gonna have one unit left, and it's because his runes are not gonna match up to defeat it. If this guy would be a top 30 player, it would have been a different story, and also would probably not have attacked him like that, but he ain't, so that made it a lot easier. I think we have 3 more invites if we go to friends and give some gifts out. No friends. I actually already sent gifts. Did I just do that? Maybe I already did it. Not sure. Let's just find out. No, we got 3 wings. Nice. So let's continue. I throwed out my defense that I used on reset because I figured out that it's not so smart to keep the same defense the whole time, because then they will definitely take advantage of it to practice what works, and then reset hour they can go at you knowing what to do. That I already realized that way back. However, I never really kind of thought about it too much, because I never had a really successful defense where I was happy on rush hour with it. The defense I had in last time, well, I was pretty happy with it on rush hour. So usually I had defenses that succeeded in 30 to 35% defense successful throughout the week. Wasn't too unsatisfied by it, but in rush hour it wasn't keeping up at all because everyone practiced against it many times. So this guy probably banks on having a really fast vertical that can let Bruiser go, and then the monkey is there to rape everything. I'm just gonna go in, let him do his stuff when I'm sitting in the shield, because he has no buff removal. I can just sit in my shield, be safe, and let him do his thing. Remove buffs if needed. If not, just buff up and go for the damage. That's always the better option, but not always possible. We could remove that debuffs. I don't think I'm gonna go for that, just because it's not, well, first of all it's not needed, but second of all it's also not beneficial if he would buff up after it, not having that. So hopefully slow down you. We did, no counter, so it's a GG for sure, because I can take off 2 units for sure, and probably 1 more. And 1 Monkey King, even how strong the unit is, it's not going to take out my full team. That's just that would be pretty annoying, but that's just too much. So obviously my team, I mean, I personally think not too many players are using that team. So it is a bit of a unique setup. However, I do think it's a really something, you could build something different that has the same sort of element in it, where you take advantage of the enemies. I mean, you just need to play into the things you see in your ranking, because it differs a lot in the rankings. But if you see a lot of the same units, a lot of the same component comps that are based around whatever buff removal or speed or bruising, try to figure a setup out. It doesn't have to be AoE. Just try to figure out a setup that can beat it. A setup that is certain to beat it in a decent manner, of time. And that's what I did on last month's room removal. I believe last month, could be a bit longer. And I came up with this, and it works really well. But right now I'm in a stage where the meta is shifting, and I need to find something better than this. I haven't found it yet though. I haven't really gotten the time to sit down and think about it. Right now we have a buff remover, a speed buff, and then a nuker, while they are sitting in a shield, which means I am pretty worried about my team, because they probably have more speed than you on Bernard and have the buff removal, so this is going to be difficult. I probably would not even be able to beat him with neither of the setups I had in. However, I can also take something with me that has no buffs, no need for buffs at all. So that's what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna take the Saurian? Maybe not even. I'm just taking something without buffs, so I don't have too much troubles against the buff removal. And I'm taking some sort of attack edge boost to kind of keep up. If I'm lucky, it also stuns the right guy. It didn't, but it's still fine, because I can do wherever I want. Okay, she didn't buff, which is awesome, because now I can just go straight for... Oh, let's try to kill you first. Next turn. I just got cut off because my disc was full, so I hope you guys saw most of the fight, but let's just continue. So my team basically took away their plan of action, even though I had a little bit of risk while doing it, because there's obviously despair could be on the Pioneer, which made it, which could have made trouble for me, but it didn't happen. And I kind of took my fast attack edge booster with me, so I could catch up to their turns or go in between to fuck up his plan. But it really did work out and paid off with a quick win as well. So this is something you could have done with your team. If it doesn't have to be with this fancy team, but you could have, like, for example, you could have had a Bryant for your reviver, and had a Bernard for your attack edge booster, and had a Tiamar who's pretty gettable or trainable, but any other unit you could have taken, and a Bella you probably have. So you could have done this as well against such a team. So if you face a lot of those teams that have both speed and AoB buff removal, you can go for that. This is again a team that is just banked on speed and buff removal. It has every element to YOLO you, but the team is set up to you like kill one unit at a time. It's a pretty strong team as well, but I'm taking in this team because it's really tanky and it has good amount of damage to take down enemies quick enough that are built DPS wise. So we're gonna buff, even though we might get buff removal. Maybe he's not doing it, and he is now doing it, but maybe he resists. He didn't resist a thing. However, I did get a chance to move in between, because there's no attack edge boost, so if this stupid WhatsApp message goes away, I'm gonna try to stun their DPS and Ciara, because that is a threat. Also, he's a threat, but I hate Ciara more than anything. Took away Ciara, got a reset, and go back in the shield. That's because my gym hero is too sick in this comp, kinda. But I just want to note that you can build such a team without some of the units I use in here. Obviously, I wouldn't say that my team is bad, or you could build something so much similar to it, but you can definitely make something that has really tanky, that has the right setup to beat the units. Because as you can see, his damage, he didn't even do much damage to me, because I got control in this team, and I had enough damage to take out the damage dealers before they became relevant. So yeah, just a video that I want to show you guys about how the arena works when you get a bit higher, and you gotta like understand the plan of the different teams people use and why they use them, and that will enable you to find a way to counter it very effectively. So here we have a really tanky Bruiser team, right? Again, it has all the elements like good damage while being tanky, decent heals, and a revive. So how are you gonna try to beat that? And my way first was kill one unit quickly. That didn't work out so well. I'm now not so fond of killing this with my DPS team because I see a lot of things that can go wrong because he has and Camilla and a Kumar, but whatever, we are gonna try and see what happens. It is most likely gonna end bad, but I mean I can probably beat it if I get not too many procs on their side. I tried to remove most things. I did get lucky with this buff. Did not get lucky that your Camilla gets to go. Now I'm debating. I think I'm gonna wait a turn, see if I can do an amputation magic while he's out of his shield, because I think, not sure, but I think I can take the turn before any one of them moves, which is good. There we go. We actually got. I think we got it. Yeah, we did, which means we are probably gonna get 2 kills on those side, maybe even 1 more. Camilla didn't die, but she came close to dying. So this team, I think I couldn't have taken it down if it was a top 30 guy, but definitely because his runes are not that insane, apparently I can take it down relatively easy. But it's a team that I mean I built my team in order to beat these teams. But if they get really insane runes, it would have been difficult for sure. Again, a YOLO comp. I mean, you can see the pattern, or how do you say it? Yeah, it's a pattern, but I don't pronounce it very well. But you can definitely see the teams I face. I have 2 set teams that I use against everything. Sometimes I switch it up because I'm not 100% sure if I can. And now this is a perfect example. You can see I can't do anything before I move. I mean, he basically froze me because I had will. I'm safe. His Akramamir didn't go, so I can even protect my Jameer while he's doing Man Crush, and he's gonna taking a beating because of that. And it's really good because everything's going to Jultan while he's just safe. So we're just gonna take away you because I don't like you. I'm gonna now focus Akramamir. I'm not even gonna reset yet. Akramamir is also almost dead. And something to note, my Jameer provides me with an attack gauge. Sorry, my Jameer provides me with an attack break, and because that, and also Arnold provides me with attack break, is also the reason why my team survives so well, because they are not going to get any damage if their attack broken. It's the damage is just a lot less when the attack is broken. So it's definitely a really really well designed team to beat these kind of comps. It's also built specifically to beat these kind of comps. So I want to end it here. We've done enough, we showed enough of arena offense, but I want to go on to some of the, well, let's say some of the key things to think about. I've said it multiple times in the videos already, but first, know what the enemy team is going to do. Like, understand what they are planning to do. If you see the defense, understand which unit of them is supposed to move first, and or which unit you think they're gonna move first, why and how that affects your team. Secondly, just distinguish what is weak for them, like what is their weakness. And I showed you my offense exists out of two teams that I mainly use. One is to speed kill almost anything. However, it's not going to do well against speed teams. So I designed another team because speed teams often have the same thing to it. They're fast and they have a lot of damage going on. It's a YOLO speed team. There are speed teams without that. And those cases are pretty difficult because I have to decide if I'm able to outspeed him or not. And I have to decide if I want to take the safe way or just the fast way. The fast way often exists out of me taking a speed lead like Jameer and an attack edge Bruiser, which is for me Orion right now, and trying to outspeed them while controlling them. Doesn't always work out. Or going the safe way is by just using Theomars, Iona, Belladon, stuff like that to keep myself alive or be able to get back up after I got a kill. So yeah, that's really how I designed it, and the two things you need to keep in mind. Make use of the sets that you have. For example, having a revenge set on specific units is very smart to do, because for example my Jultan is revenge because he doesn't really need to do much. By just getting hit is good for him. So also and a revenge is good because he has a good, his first skill actually has a heal debuff, which is good, and a defense break potentially, which is also awesome. But also he is just like getting hit, and every time he gets hit he does damage, but also revenge is adding up to that. And Will on Arnold and Chloe are to protect them from getting fucked up, even if they're faster, because that's what my team is for, right? Beating speed teams, not by outspeeding them, but by tanking them. And my other team is based around Poseidon slowing them down so Lucian can finish it off. I needed more damage because Lucian cannot do it, and I built mine kind of hybrid. So yeah, he is the spare. Pretty good runes if I say so myself. This is one of the worst runes most likely, and even that is not like, I mean I could do more, like more damage, but the stats I have are just perfect for him. So think well, see what you got. You can build anything and make it work if you thought it through. Making a fast AO is not per se saying I need to have double Lucian, I need to have Tiana, Zyros. I mean, yes, those are the most successful comps there are right now, because the Tiana, Zyros, because they're really good units, and they're almost, not everyone has them first of all, but they're also like the people that use them often use them with insane runes. But you can build anything that and make it work as long as you know what the enemy is doing and how you are going to react to it. And it doesn't have to be an AoE speed kill team. However, if you get up to the higher ranks where you want to fight for Guardian 1, 2, 3, you need to have a fast AO, so then you kind of merge into that. But at the beginning, for climbing up the arena rank, that's not really necessary. You need to have a certain win then, not a slow win, but an effective certain win. It doesn't have to be 30 seconds. Yeah, it could be 3 minutes. But if you can do all your swords in 3 minutes pretty effectively, get a consistent win out of that. That works really well. But thanks for watching, guys. I already rattled on too long. I hope it was informative. It was maybe a little bit all over the place, but I hope you guys understood some of the tips I wanted to give you, or the ideas I wanted to give you. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys later. Bye.